going to Florida. I don't get to see this guy till a week from now. I'm going to miss him. Headed to the airport for my sister's wedding and bachelorette party. My first trip to Tampa, and I've landed in Orlando because of a thunderstorm. I won't be getting there until 10. I'm supposed to get there at 6:30. Just waiting to board the plane again. I've never been to Orlando either. Here is my first purchase. Our plane back there. Just waiting. So, hopefully it won't be too bad. I'm really frustrated, as I'm sure all the other passengers are. So yeah, hopefully I get to see my sister soon. We're gonna have dinner tonight, and this bag of chips is my dinner. So hopefully it's only, 4 o'clock in California. So it's not too late. Anyways. Morning. Time to walk Sadie before it gets too hot.
That walk was brutal. I am sweating. But I don't really want to complain about the weather after being in Florida. My dog doesn't know any better though. She had to be dragged, not really. She had to be dragged home. She didn't want to walk anymore, even though she gets really excited for walks. Anyways, yeah, my whole trip was really fun. I had a blast for the most part, except for most likely the flights and the humidity of Florida.
Finally made it to Florida. My nephew loves to be outside. Stay away from the pool. I knew it was humid, but I was not expecting to not have the ability to breathe. It's really beautiful out here, though. So much green. Rebecca has so many plants.
Oh, and the red tide. That was crazy. We were on the plane to Tampa, and there were thunderstorms over Tampa, so we were flying in the air for a bit. And then because we were low on gas, we had to land in Orlando to fuel up, which they let us get off the plane, thankfully. But we had to wait for like 2 hours to reboard and take off. And I was just so worried that we were just gonna fly in the air for a while before being able to land. So I finally got to Tampa at like 10:30 or 11. The next day we went to Target for some stuff, and it's so weird because my sister's like, oh no, there's a thunderstorm. And I was like, oh, is that what that noise is on the roof? She's like, yeah, it's funny, I don't even have an umbrella, even though I've lived here for years. And I was like, okay. And I look out the window, or the big doors of Target, and I see that it's just pouring. And I'm laughing because I've never seen like bright and sunshiny days and then just pouring rain. And then it stopped, like 20 minutes of pouring rain, and then it stopped. And the clouds began to clear, and there was just sunny skies again for the rest of the day. That was weird. And I just laughed because I'm not used to that kind of weather here in LA. And my sister thought I was going crazy because I was laughing to myself. But we went outside, and it was funny because I was like thinking that it would like cool it down a bit. But I was wrong. It just made the air more wet. And it's like, this is not something you can get used to. I don't know how people do it. I also realized I did not pack Florida appropriate clothing. So I bought a lot of new things. Don't wear jeans. It was almost painful. Very uncomfortable wearing jeans. I also noticed that there's a lot of bugs in Florida. There's, dragonflies and Japanese beetles and black wasps, love bugs. Love bugs are like, they're ugly and nasty looking, and they mate in the air, so there's two of them like stuck together flying around. And when my sister and I were laying out, they were like flying like right next to you. You're like, get away, get away. It's like, I don't know how I'm gonna be able to close my eyes. There's lots of lizards. They do handstands. They like push up. I'm like, what is that all about? Like, they were on her deck just doing push-ups. It was like Muscle Beach or something. And the one thing I really didn't like about Florida was that there was red tide at the time I came out. So it was like the worst month to come out, and then there was red tide on top of that. So it stank really, really bad. And eventually I could smell it all the way into Tampa, if that's even possible. My two other sisters live more west, so it smelled there because they were closer to the water. I guess it's like the worst ever, right, going on right now. I saw dead fish floating into the bay. It was pretty gross. So yeah, and then we had my sister's bachelorette party, which was really fun. I got to see this like small town band playing. I can't remember the name. He asked if we had any requests, and I said David Bowie, and they said that they didn't know how to play David Bowie. And my sister said Taylor Swift, and they played a Taylor Swift song. So that was interesting. I told them to learn some David Bowie tunes, and then I said please. I also went to a Waffle House that night for the bachelorette party. That was really good hangover food. I guess that's the place that you go to. It's 24 hours, so, and they do have pretty good waffles. I don't like syrup, so I have my waffles or pancakes plain. They're pretty good without syrup. And I learned about Wawa's, which is like a gas station, but like they have food there that's like really good. So people go there all the time. I also saw like near my sister's house, I don't know if it's all over, but like there's trees on either side of the street, and they line up and they like canopy over, like touching each other. So it's like really pretty, like bridged trees above you. So it's like really whimsical, I guess. It's really pretty. Really, really pretty. Oh, and then I noticed a frog in my sister's backyard, and it hopped like really close to her pool. And when one of her dogs came out into the backyard, it, I guess, kind of spooked the frog. They don't scare easily because I was able to take like super close pictures of it. But the dog walked by, and the frog had hopped into the pool, and we used a little net to get it out because I was asking her if frogs drown in her pool, and she said yes. I was like, we gotta save this one. So we did. The next day after the frog saving incident, I got to go see where my sister worked. She's a teacher, and I got to see her classroom, and I graded papers and and cleaned little fingerprints off the tables. And got to hang out in her element. Something that she wanted for a very long time, and I'm super proud of her. And then I think the day after that, we went to the aquarium in Florida, Tampa, Florida. And that was really beautiful. I have a bunch of pictures that I'm gonna post. And I really love jellyfish, and it was so funny because when we were going, I wasn't even thinking that there would be jellyfish there. It was just like, you know, fish, sharks, gators, and then ta-da, jellyfish. So they also have a water park, which is really cool. We didn't go out there, but it's really nice for my 2-year-old nephew. He's almost 2. There was also a play area inside, but I guess they're getting rid of it for a new exhibit. It was a really beautiful aquarium. I had a really nice time there. I think it's a little bit bigger or about the same size as Aquarium of the Pacific in Long Beach, but nowhere near as big as Monterey Bay Aquarium, which is like my favorite aquarium. And then she drove me through Ybor. I don't remember the street name, but that was really cool. I got to see Coyote Ugly Bar, and we also drove down a little bit. There was a park, and there were chickens on the sidewalk, on the street. It was really weird to see chickens, because I don't really think of Florida as farmland. So I wasn't expecting to see chickens, especially in the street. I've never seen that in Cali. So, and then we went over to Massachusetts. We flew in to Boston. My dad waited for us to pick us up to take us to get our rental. We took the rental to go back to the airport to pick up my other sister and her husband, and then we drove to Cape Cod, and we were gonna check into the office, but my sister Lindsay had already checked in for us, so she gave us the new address to meet her. And these condos were so beautiful. The setup was so nice, and they were like, it was just like on one block. So like my sister was across the street from me, and my other sister was like kitty corner, so like walking distance. So it was really cool. Her wedding was amazing and beautiful, and she was such a beautiful bride. The ceremony made me cry. I couldn't stop crying. And then we partied. The reception was a lot of dancing. It was this like tent, but it was clear, and you could see out the clear canvas, and there was just the dunes and the beach and the water. You go out and get some fresh air and come back in, and the DJ was awesome, the music was awesome. And then it ended too soon. The next morning we hung out in Falmouth. I don't know what street it was. I'll have to look that up and put it down here. It had a lot of cute little shops. Like there was a bookstore that was really cool, a children's bookstore, but they had some adult books too. And then souvenir shops. We only got a magnet. We didn't get to spend any time in Boston. We basically hung out in Falmouth, went to Boston to get on the plane home. So Ben and I are thinking that we're gonna go out there, just the two of us again, because you know it's Beantown and our last name is Bean, and I feel like we should do that. And the weather, oh my gosh, after being in Florida, it's like, oh, I welcome this weather so much. It was so cool and breezy, and even though like a spider was crawling on my mom and then on my mom's best friend and freaking my sister out, I was just like, I'll take the spiders any day over the humidity of Florida. Man, I don't know. If there's any way to get used to that weather, let me know. So, and now I'm back home. I'm happy to be back with my pups. You guys met Sadie on our little walk this morning. She's a little case hund. She's 5 years old. I'll have you meet the other ones soon. But yeah, and so now we're back home and back to reality, and that's it, I think. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.